There are a few very pressing concerns regarding the Dubai real estate market, especially in 2026. Will Dubai real estate survive 2026? Because there are some indicators, of course. Some of the most prestigious developers where you'd have expected the launches to sell out, their stock left. And the prices are concerning. Like, prices have really gone up. Now, I want to give a lot of clarity on what is a crash. This is not a 2009 scenario where the Lehman Brothers crashed and the whole market goes down. That's not the scenario we're talking about. In Dubai, when you're talking about a crash, we're looking at, yes, why are there OP deals in acres? Why did Expo Valley get delayed despite having billions of backup? Why hasn't there been a single brick laid in this huge venture backed by ADQ and I don't want to get into specific names, but at the border of Dubai and Abu Dhabi, it's a project. A single brick has not been laid. There are projects where developers have picked up hundreds of plots, not hundreds again, strong, 10 to 20 plots, but the escrow accounts are not in place and they're constantly aggressively launching. Now, currently, in the current, as we speak, in today's date, please note the date. As of now, a crash means when in a community you're finding too many deals at OP prices. Very rarely you're going to get an OP minus 10. Extremely rare. You're getting an OP minus 10. The distressed deal is buying a deal at OP. That is a distressed deal, which is not bad. If you look at the crypto, what happened at Bitcoin, it's definitely not bad. Still tangible asset, okay? But I sense or I see that this is going to get worse before it gets better. What's going to happen is I'm seeing certain products that will go OP up to minus 25. So this video, we're going to educate a very hardcore realistic data where we're taking different communities. What are the average prices? What price you should be investing at? And what is a price that should be a red flag? So that you can make a very safe, secure investment. So, how to navigate Dubai real estate like a pro. Everyone knows Jibraan by now. So, I'll just let you take over.
As Zohaib mentioned, how you want to calculate or how you should be moving in this market, understanding like something like navigating it like a local, like you've actually lived here for a long time. You understand the different trends. You understand why the different recessions had hit, how Dubai was impacted, how Dubai bounced back, how much time and how many months each bounce back took, what was the peak before the recession and what was the peak once the bounce back was in place or once Dubai had come back. Now, being in real estate, the thing is, you have to continuously keep learning. You see so many new trends because Dubai is in a space where it's sort of a real estate revolution happening right now, where we have to still, we can't look at the world trends on how multiple other cities who are compared to Dubai today, they took much longer in terms of growth from where they are now to where they were when Dubai was about 30 years ago. So simple things that we are going to look at, it's very basic math, to be honest. It's very basic math. Right? As Zohaib mentioned, there are some prices that we're going to see, the resale units that are coming out as distressed deals. How do you know that even OP is a distressed deal? OP means original price, which it was sold at launch. How do we know that even that is a good deal or not? Because with the way I'm looking at things, some products that were sold less than a year ago or even a year ago or a year and a half ago, even that OP was high as per market price at the time. That's why when we say there's a very thin line between a crash and a correction, right? Things are going to be corrected and rightly so they should, right?
So few trends that I've observed. So this is really important. So few trends. People, because nowadays everyone's like, okay, 1 million product will sell at 2 million. 2 million product I'll sell at 3 million. 5 million product will sell at 10 million. And now it's getting exhausting. So because everyone is talking about what we can sell, nobody's talking about who's going to buy. So what I've observed before we get into the next slide is that about 30 million, any product in the market right now, it's very difficult to sell, very difficult to get a buyer. Any product about 30 million. Because I have a lot of investors, who own properties in Wanzabil, in Royal Atlantis, refurbished villas in Jumeirah Golf Estates, in Dubai Hills, Palm. 6 to 8 months, it's tough to sell. So this is a few indicators if we get into the main topic. Last year, I think it was 293,000 transactions to 273,000 transactions. Don't hold me on for that. But around 70% of them were only up to 2.2 million. So why aren't we targeting into this segment as well? And then understanding trends. For example, in 21, there was a trend where you could buy a townhouse for 1.1 to 1.5 million and it went up to 3.3 million and above. But that trend is dead. So there's no point in trying to jump onto using these numbers. You can't assess existing trends. Trends die very quickly. So you have to get quick trends.
All right. So the simple math or the simple strategy that I think every consultant or every investor should even look at. Now, firstly, you look at an average, you catch a certain area, you look at an average. Now, at the moment, Dubai's average as a whole, we're counting everything. We're counting the cheapest of cheapest investments and the most expensive investments as well. And we're kind of, by the law of average, we're just averaging it out. It's approximately around 1,500 to 1,600 dirhams per square feet, right? Now, let's look into this a little bit in detail. Now, before I go ahead, everyone or most marketing campaigns that you see from developers, they're saying 10% returns, 8% returns. Some of them are actually guaranteeing it. How sustainable is that? We're going to see it in this presentation. Now, certain areas that I wanted to talk about are covered in this, but then again, this is just for reference. This is just for you to understand what it was a few years ago, what trend came along, where it suddenly shot up and where it is now and what we can potentially look at where it's going to go. All right. Town Square, as we all know it as Nishama, right? When it was built, the first thing we heard, oh, it's so far away, Al Qudra, who's going to go and live there? There were townhouses being sold over there between 700 to 900,000 dirhams. We're talking 3-bedroom townhouses, right? But when was this sold? Just around the COVID time, right? Just around the COVID time where these units were going crazy. The sentiment in the market was, it's not going to do well. It's too far out, blah, blah, blah. What people don't understand and tend to forget is that Dubai has a 2033 plan in place. And this 2033 plan was published recently, but it's been in effect for over a decade now, all right? The 2040 agenda has also been published recently, a couple of years ago, but it's been in effect since post-COVID, right? While all of us were locked up in our rooms, the leadership here was already planning and they were already allocating land for different communities and different master communities that were going to come up. Now, Nishama, if you look at the suburbia today, it's sort of kind of going to be very much close to the center of all the suburbia. When I talk suburbia, I mean the entire stretch. Nishama at the moment is around 1,200. So that's the average price per square feet, 1,100 to 1,200 price per square feet, right? But what those townhouses that were sold about 3 to 4 years ago at 900,000, do you know what the selling price today?
Over 2.7 million.
My sister had one, she sold it for 3.2. She had the bigger 3-bedroom townhouse. She sold it for 3.2. That was triple. But what was the trend that we saw? Like Zohaib said, trends die out really fast, right? What was the trend we saw? Everyone came out from lockdown because of the claustrophobic feeling and all that. Everyone wanted to go into townhouses. And suddenly the inquiries and the launches in townhouses started going, the demand in townhouses started climbing at a very rapid speed. In turn, once the demand went up, suddenly we saw multiple townhouse communities being launched. But again, you look at a trend, there were different sizes. Even in those days, you look at Nishama, you look at Akoya, which was today known as Damak Hills 2, was launched over 12 years ago? Didn't do really well because it was outside. Yes, at that time. They rebranded it, they got it back out. But then one of the major reasons it didn't do well was the sizes. They were trying to cater to the price point of an apartment in a townhouse, right? People saw that very, very quickly. Some people bought, some people didn't buy. A lot of stock was delayed in terms of selling. They had to reprice the entire thing up. So again, the point here is who buys all of this? How you want to look at the different approaches. The simple math is this. You identify an average of the price per square feet in the area. You end up paying approximately 10%, 5 to 10 to 15% over this price point. You can name it as luxury. You can name it as exclusivity. You can call it whatever you want for that price that you're paying over the average. That's fine. There's a potential of growth over there. But if you end up paying 50% more in the name of luxury, that brand better be made out of gold.
So I agree. So I think two very most important things before you get into an investment is understanding the liquidity and the absorption. Now, liquidity means who's your buyer. So understanding this demographic is extremely important. Maybe I'll make another video on, it's very important to know who's Karen, Mr. Singh, Mohammed, Vladimir, where are they buying? Your major buyers are like India, Pakistan, UK, you've got North African, Arabic countries, and you've got Russia again, so we need to understand where would they buy. So liquidity is extremely important. Like he mentioned, see, if you're buying small size townhouse at 1.5 to 2, okay, that's fine. But if you're buying it at 3, maybe they should be concerned. So understanding that price per square foot and clearly understanding whether you're entering, which segment are you entering? Are you entering the affordable segment? What's my entry? What's my exit? Are you entering luxury? And luxury, I understand this. Off plan, this should be the price per square foot. Currently in the ready market, especially the refurbished market, we have seen prices go up to 3,500 to 4,400 in the luxury segment. But it's a big challenge that everyone is calling affordable as luxury. So this is something, another big concern. Now absorption, see, some of our major concern is this year, like there is a lot of supply hitting this year. Don't worry about the crash because see, Dubai is looking at a 10-year angle. Last year, we had 19.5 million investors. So when you're looking at 20,000 supply, 30,000 supply, 40,000 supply, it's going to get absorbed. But us as investors, we are looking at an average annual growth rate. Your product, what is the median price? What is the average price? What price should you enter and exit? And is your product liquid? That's it. Okay. We're going through important
area.
area.
We spoke about something which was a little further out. Let's talk about something that is a little bit more close to the city center.
Yeah.
All right. Dubai Creek Harbour, luxury, high-end, Emaar community, master community, and all of that stuff. Now, the average price point over here, how much were the units being sold at when it was launched in terms of the price per square feet of Creek Harbour? So in the beginning, they were offering, because the properties were almost close to complete and there was still a lot of stock left over at the time. So they were offering lease to own options where you can come, you can lease, you can rent, and then you can own it after a few years, right? And it was attractive to some, not to many others. That's when a lot of these prices, so the initial price that was, they were launched at, right? Because of the lack of information for many of the investors, they didn't know where this island was going to go. They hadn't really launched the Downtown 2.0 or the Creek Tower at that time. So they just thought that, all right, this is going to be one island next to a big piece of empty land that's going to be developed. So that sentiment wasn't there for investments. So that's when they were offering this lease to own opportunity, right? The price points at that time were approximately 1,000 dirhams per square feet, give or take. At the moment, you're looking at a very huge range between almost 1,600, 1,700 dirhams all the way up to 2,600 dirhams. So even if you look at the average, somewhere in the center, 2,100 dirhams is what we can look at. So even if you're buying something today over there, you'd want to be around that number, which is around 2,100, 2,300 dirhams per square feet if you're looking at a decent Emaar project, right? And especially when you're on that island, because let's be honest, do we have any plots left on that island? Nothing. So it's all absorbed. Now they've started launching the plots which drive up to the island from Ras Al Khor Road, which is keeping the wildlife sanctuary on our left side. So the Creek Bay has launched, and another one, the 4 towers that were launched. Haven. So Creek Haven and Creek Bay that were launched. Again, you look at the price point over there today, right? You're looking at approximately 4.5 million for a 2-bedroom.
Yeah.
But, all right, now, hear me out. Why I think that price is not that bad. It is expensive for some investors, but if the investors who are looking at this at the next 10 years, at the next, like a proper decade, we're looking until 2035. The vision is what? Till 2033, 7.2 million people. The population will grow, right? So this is 2 years post that, right? Where Dubai is at a peak in terms of absorption, right? In terms of people, population. If you are investing 4.5 million right now in Creek Bay, all right? Now, Creek Bay is on the beach, right? And this is apartments facing the the wildlife sanctuary, right? You have the entire skyline of Maidan Horizon and Soba 1 on your left. This is me standing in the balcony, layman's terms, right? You have the entire skyline on the left. You have the Burj and the downtown and the business bay skyline smack in front of you. You have the Creek Harbour on your right. And they can't build another building in the water now, can they? As in that specific spot, right? So you're kind of paying, but you have to see, your risk here is high, but your reward is going to be extremely high as well, because nothing is going to come up. And again, when you are investing, you're looking at the price per square feet, you're looking at the percentage.
Okay, just quickly running through this. Okay, it's a very large master plan. There are 500 more buildings going to come up in Dubai Creek Harbour. So like he rightly mentioned, it is for a specific type of buyer, maybe somebody looking to move in. It is downtown 2.0. It's one of those rare communities where you can walk around the whole community. Europeans love that. Europeans love, they don't like catching cabs. You know, another big product that we'll have to talk about is DIFC 2, the impact on this particular community. Now, but again, a problem that people don't discuss too often is DIFC 2 came. What happens to DIFC 1? So that's another topic we'll cover in that particular video, you know, like because DIFC 1 was sold on a very high price per square foot, and these are buildings right next to each other, where most probably your view is going to be another building. So what happens to those buildings and what happens to that kind of traffic? Then we will talk about the blue line impact as well. So there is the entire blue line that's covering. So areas that the price per square foot is around 1,200 to 1,500 dirham per square foot. That can be an interesting opportunity. Now in Dubai Creek Harbour, where I find there's a huge opportunity is in the next 6 to 12 months, what are the products being handed over? Can I get something at a good price per square foot? Especially something on the water. You have a Creek Harbour specialist. Do you agree with me? If at the end of you don't agree, please do let me know.
Creek Waters is one of the best.
Here we go. I have something, a 2-bed on the water.
Still not gotten it.
3 to 3.5 million. So yeah, I think that's a phenomenal opportunity.
You have one?
Yeah, I do.
Can you send it to me, please?
I can. Okay, good. Everyone's want to sell it. Good. That's really good. Okay, then currently it's around 3,000 dirham per square foot. Dubai Design District is selling close to 4,000 dirham per square foot. But we have understood the average. So this is where red flag. Boom. What is the average price? What is the price selling at? Boom, red flag. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but it should immediately hit you guys that it's a red flag. Okay. Next location.
Yeah. So we have Oasis by Emaar. Again, a complete villa community. They don't have townhouses, only villas, right? Mansions, big villas, right? They're looking at an average price point between 1,800 to 2,200 square feet. So again, catching the median is 2,000 dirhams per square feet. The rental yield here is lower compared to your apartments, obviously. But again, it's a villa community. You are mainly getting into this. If you are an investor, you're getting into this for the capital appreciation or using it yourself, right?
See, extremely important information. Extremely important. In the next 2 to 3 years, the cheapest rental for a 4-bed independent villa is going to be 1 million dirhams. That's going to be the benchmark. That's where the market is heading towards. You can do all the study and research you want. I've discussed this with an institutional investor. This is where the market's heading. So these products hold utmost importance. Everyone, again, we were talking about trends. There was a trend of refurbishment where you can pick up a house at a very low price, refurbish it and sell it. Now there's a lot of stock of villas in Jumeirah Golf Estates, a lot of stock of villas in Dubai Hills, a lot of stock of villas in Dubai Islands. Jumeirah 35 million, it's there. There is stock. You can check, and it's not been selling over the last 6 to 8 months. So why would I buy something that expensive when I can get a product like this? So that is why these products hold a lot of importance. The rents are going really high. This number will change. So
Lost is if the ROI will be higher.
Much higher.
And then on a separate video we have discussed, okay, what is the competition? If you see now in each community we have discussed, anyone who needs a report, please, like for example, for Dubai Creek Harbour, comment DCH. For Emaar, just comment Oasis or get in touch with us, and we have prepared reports on this. Like, what is the competition of Oasis? So whether it's Jumeirah Golf Estates, Barari, Dubai Hills, Emirates Living District, you know, we have made comparisons with all these communities.
You can also look at Heights, even though both are Emaar products.
But Heights, Grand Polo. So, you know, we compare these products and then we assess as in, so what is our objective? Okay, if I enter Oasis at, let's say, 20 million dirhams and I want to liquidate at 25 million dirhams. In 25 million dirhams, if a buyer is coming to the market, what are the options he has and why will he select your product? So that's how the angle you should be thinking at. Again, anything above this, because currently the refurbishment market is at 3,500 to 4,400. So I'm still at a safe spot. But again, in this video, we're teaching you how to think, how to look at investments.
Just to quickly add to that,
yeah, sure.
In terms of one of the reports that we did, you know, there's a thing that any agent or any consultant you ask, you know, about the villas and the supply of villas, there's always going to be a shortage of villas. But obviously, we're looking at the 4 to 5 bedroom bracket. One of the reports that we did was the 7:1 ratio was the same thing. 7 renters is to 1 property. And that is probably going to be there for the next 5 to 6 years as well. That is also another report. If you want, just comment ratio and we'll send that over to you.
Dubai South. See, again, it's the same thing that we're discussing. It's just about, see, this is the current average price. Now, in areas like even JVC is coming. Now, if somebody comes to me and is selling me a 2,000 dirham per square foot, telling me, pay only 10% now and pay only 1% a month, but buy the 2,000 dirham per square foot. Pay only 40% till handover, 60% on handover. How can you make profit? This is the average price, So this is why understanding what, again, if somebody wants to build a rental portfolio, 7.5% is a really good number. I get it. People come to us saying, okay, we want 8 to 11%, which is hard. It's not impossible. But if you enter wrong, you enter at the wrong price.
No, I think so. With Dubai South, I think the prices were really good a few years ago, again, when there was a fresh new concept. But then suddenly all the hype went towards Dubai South, and then we saw the prices of villas from the developer almost tripling, right? This was within a year. And I think that's what you highlighted, the fact that we need to buy at the right price, buy at the right time, and buy at the right price.
The problem is people are focusing on the wrong south. Now people are focusing, so let's suppose again, this is the airport. And this is the south that people is focusing on, where this is the south that you should be focusing.
The coastline.
After Palm Jebel Ali, all the way to the Abu Dhabi border, maybe you can start going towards the Abu Dhabi as well. But that section, there are so many projects coming in, that is the south that you should be focusing on.
JVC.
The most online hated community for no reason. Like any new agent in the market, his first TikTok will be, do not invest in JVC, there's an oversupply. There's no idea of the market, And that's the first TikTok everyone makes, JVC sucks. Why? Like, okay, what is better than JVC? Can you believe if I tell you that JVC kicks Shobha Hartland's ass any single day? I can't say that.
In terms of rental,
anything and everything, whether it's resale value, whether it's rental income, JVC would kick a lot of JVC would kick downtown's ass.
JVC was holding the title of the highest sold properties, highest transactions for 3 years consecutively?
Why? Because that's what I'm trying to say.
In the country.
In the country for 3 years consecutively.
If 273,000 transactions occurred, 70% are up to 2.2 million. We are targeting the mass market here. But again, this is the median price. You go at 2,000 dirham per square foot, but they are not going to come out on the ad and tell you 2,000 dirham per square foot. They're going to say 1% a month. They will tell you there is a swimming pool in the balcony. Go kill yourself. After you buy, especially on handover when you don't have the 60% to pay. That is exactly why.
Depending on the mortgage, depending on the bank mortgage.
So that's it, I don't think any area is good or bad. The whole of Dubai, I think, is fantastic. And there's opportunity everywhere. It is just being able to identify, being able to navigate the market like a pro. Dubai Hills, I think this is a lot higher now.
Much higher now.
See, but we're talking about, again, average. When you take average of townhouses, villas, we're taking an average of townhouses, villas, all of it together. But it's shocking, right? When you look at the average, it's stressful for investors when you look at an average price. But again, these are just indicators. These videos give you indicators on where to invest. Recently, I was shocked when I went to the address Hillcrest,
the lagoon, 5 and 6 bedroom villas, the ones with the lagoon touching villas in the front, that was sold at 22.4.
Yeah, but the lagoon was...
So you're recommending the buying as a stake for investment?
No, I'm just saying that the lagoon was sad, and that's another that's another big challenge that we're facing. That's a separate thing to discuss all. But okay, in this video again, we're just saying that it is a great location, no doubt. I think if some real estate agents have come online and said that this is the new center of Dubai. I mean, every day the center keeps changing. Some people say south of Dubai is the new center because they look at Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and then some people say Dubai Hills Estate. But I find Dubai Hills Estate actually quite central. It's a very, very central location. I think it's one of the best communities in Dubai to live in. If somebody wants to have a good lifestyle in Dubai, they should probably live in Dubai Creek Harbour, Dubai Hills. I think if they want to, why? The crowd is fantastic. Like if you go to Dubai Hills, you feel like you're in Dubai.
If you're looking at apartment living, then definitely Creek Harbour. If you want the high rise, the cloud hugging feeling, definitely Creek Harbour. You have fantastic views. However, if you're looking at townhouses or villas and just where you have a family, you have kids running outside, or you're playing and all of that, you want a good community, definitely Dubai Hills.
Even apartments, Dubai Hills is amazing. The crowd over there, beautiful park, beautiful facilities. It's a fantastic place. But just be careful on what price you're entering at. That's all. Be careful on the price. If you're an investor, if you're an end user, go have fun.
Now, there are some price points that we're seeing right now over there at 2,500, 2,600 dirhams per square feet. Apartments.
Yeah, that's it. So this is
And some high-end villas, like the high-end villas.
Villas go up to 4,000.
There you go.
So when I
Refurbished.
When I see 2,600 off plan and I'm getting handover 5 years later, that's when I go for the secondary market. If I see a good deal in a secondary off plan, this is how, there are different markets, right? There's secondary market, there's secondary off plan, there's off plan. But at which phase do you enter? Using these techniques, we'll be able to identify how and which phase we should enter. Okay.
Arabian Ranches.
And this is including ranches 1, 2 and 3.
Exactly.
Combination of all 3.
Exactly. Some of them, the rental yield is higher.
Yeah.
Some of the units, especially the ones that bought. So Arabian Ranches was launched approximately 20 odd years ago?
Yeah.
Right? There are some people who still own from the first cluster onwards, and I think they're crossing about 25%.
Because the people who bought at 1.5 million 3-bed townhouse and renting it at 200,000 dirhams made a killing. They made a killing. But the problem, these numbers are based on the current prices. So if you now enter the market of Arabian Ranches 3 and buy a townhouse at 3 million, that's when you're hitting these numbers. 3, in fact, it's not even 3. 3 was for good. No, 3, right? It's 3.5. 3.5 million, but the rental remains the same. So this is what, but the biggest problem is people use this data to sell a new product. Means they say, oh, I invested 1.5 million, made 3.5 million. So now buying 3.5 million will become 7 million. That is where you start losing money. Okay.
This is where we are.
Now, business bay in Dubai Marina are extremely important for people who are looking at the secondary market, who want to build a rental portfolio, who want to get into the Airbnb business. We'll have to identify opportunities. But now the opportunities in these locations, the only challenge is liquidity. You will get, so this is where you'll have to first ask yourself, what is your objective as an investor? If you, because I see people online saying that, hey, why are you buying off plan? Buy a ready in Marina Diamond for 1 million. I can get a 700 square foot 1-bedroom apartment at 1 million dirhams. Agreed. But will it increase from 1 million? It's there.
Fractionally.
The prices in the
Fractionally.
now increased in the last 3-4 years. No.
So this is the concern. Means you can enjoy, no doubt, a good rental income. And if you enter Marina Diamond, okay, I don't want to describe the crowd. I hope people who are viewing are sensible enough to understand why I can't describe it on social media. And even just the whole building in itself, it smells bad. It's just ugly. It's like
the age is catching up. The maintenance is not kept properly. That's why you end up paying, in terms of numbers, you end up paying more service charges.
Yeah.
So again, you're losing out on the percentage of your profit.
So, and see, the problem is, this is another big major concern we're facing. Now, people who come in from UK, Europe, they're like, oh, it's just 20 years old. That's new. Why are you saying 20-year-old property is old? We have properties that are 100, 150 years old and it's pristine. We're a new market. Dubai is a new market. We are still evolving. We're still understanding.
So it depends on the developers how they maintain, right? And so Marina is mixed with...
See, that is actually a really important point. For example, even till date, if you go to Emaar's original 6 towers, the first 6 towers that were built, it feels like a Medina Jumeirah. It's beautiful. It's fantastic, So this is where you need an expert consultant to advise you which product to pick. If you want a diversified portfolio, how to build a diversified portfolio. Maybe there's a ready property, there is a townhouse, there's an off-plan property. We made a video, me and Zara made a video on how to build a portfolio. Maybe you can refer that video and understand. This is why, but having a general understanding of the market. Okay, the last one, Silicon. Again, this is why I want to talk about Silicon Oasis is because, again, this is not just Silicon Oasis. I feel like, see, again, we're discussing trends, right? I feel like this is a trend that people should or could jump on, where you enter at maybe a 1,200 or 1,300 and exit at a 1,500 or 1,600 in a location like this, where there's a lot of stuff is happening in Silicon.
A lot of stuff.
What is happening in Silicon?
So first, if you're looking at, Silicon Oasis itself, there are some plots available. So there are a few projects that were launched over there, but some of them are leasehold, some of them are freehold. But if you look at a little bit further down from Silicon Oasis, you have the academic city.
Yep.
The academic city has, I think, approximately 20 odd something universities running, existing universities right now. But a little bit further than that, expansion.
How many billions are they investing? How many billions are they investing? 14 billion?
Oh, sorry.
How many billions are they investing?
12.8.
12.8.
12.8.
12.8 billion is being invested. And is the blue line touching this area?
Yes.
So that is why if we get into a location like this now, so that is why sometimes there's no fixed theory. Buying an Oasis or buying a townhouse or buying a villa may not be the only solution. There might be multiple solutions based on what your objective of investment is.
So they're kind of reviving the area right now as well. So, if we look at the history, look at the numbers, Dubai Silicon Oasis was stagnant for quite a while in terms of the price point, in terms of there wasn't a huge increase. And then suddenly some developers who are mainly focusing on volumes went in there and they just started building projects, smaller apartments, but they were focusing on volumes with the 1% payment plan and all these kind of things, right? But one of the golden opportunities that we tend to miss out in this sort of an area is you just zoom out on the map, look at it from a bird's eye view, right? You have two major communities, new communities coming very close to them, like a hop, skip and jump. One is by Benghazi, the other one is by Katura. And then you look at further down, you have the entire, the Warsan area, which is being heavily developed. And, the authorities are spending billions over there as well, because that 12.8 billion is towards Silicon Oasis and towards the academic city area. But they're also focusing more on that side. Now, again, what does that happen? That creates more jobs over there, and that creates more companies which are going to open up in Warsan, which means people will need to rent and they want to live close by. They don't want to go into the city or the other traffic. Hence, the rental income. And to be very honest, Dubai Silicon Oasis, it's always been a good rental game.
Villas that have been here in terms of sizes is
Exactly.
Semmer villas. I've also, one of my videos I've shown Emirates Aviation University. I've shown the Emirates is bringing its IT hub, 17,000 Emirates employees. So these are opportunities that we should identify, as consultants.
Even Fly Dubai.
Fly
Dubai is also coming up. So that's what, these are, so it's never a very simple solution, especially in this market where there is opportunities for huge loss. You should be extremely careful. I think absolute key is choosing your consultant. And did we navigate this like a pro? You did? Do you feel like a pro in Dubai real estate? Do you feel like we've done? Do you feel it?
Oh yeah, I am.
Yeah, so if you want to contact a pro, please click on the link below, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want the reports, do we have names of reports? So if you want a report on villas and townhouses, comment Oasis. If you want to understand where to invest around this mark that I've mentioned, send us the comment DSO and we'll send you across a report. If I can't get back to you, please hit on the link and connect with us on either DM us or connect with us over WhatsApp, and we'll send you across the report. So thank you for watching. Mohammed Zohaib and Jibraan.
Hi, I'm Mohammed Zohaib. Born and raised in Dubai, this city is truly my home. I began my real estate journey back in 2009 with Emaar, and now with 17 years of experience, I can say with absolute confidence, just consultation doesn't cut it anymore. That's why 3X Capital we go beyond, offering not just consulting. Yes, we are the best in consulting, but also business setup, mortgage services, Airbnb, property management, corporate structuring, golden visa solutions, and even crypto advisory. We approach every client with a luxury concierge mindset, trying to ensure you receive seamless end-to-end support on every step of your investment journey. Welcome to 3X, a new norm in Dubai, where Habibi meets global opportunity.